motivational person.
I was on X the other day, and there was this post about how migrants are coming in, primarily Muslim migrants, and going into Europe and places like Japan and taking over the land and taking over the culture, and how they're destructive and don't get along with the people, and how it's all the dreidel spinners' fault and woe me. And then there was this guy who posted under it, and he's just a very nasty individual. I don't know what his problem was. Perhaps his mother didn't allow him his 1 hour allocation of video game time that day, or maybe he skipped his SpaghettiOs, I don't know. But anyways, he started to call me a faggot and whatnot, and saying that I'm the problem with the world because I basically laid out two scenarios for him and people like him, which I'll get to later. But this is a big problem in the Western world, because I'm in the West right now. Everybody's talking about, the migration / replacement crisis, So I just want to put my 2 cents of wisdom on it, if anybody's willing to listen. But anyways, so here's the deal. These people don't understand the reality of the situation. And that is, there's 2 possible outcomes here where they're gonna complain either way. And there's no winning here. Either they complain about the migrants and them taking over their culture and stealing their women and stealing their land, etc., whatever that means. I didn't know that women belong to people now. Well, I guess it is what it is. Either they complain about that, and then they don't have children, or they still don't have children, and they don't let in the migrants, and then there's nobody to man the convenience stores. There's nobody to drive taxis. Nobody's gonna be running the schools, and then people like him are gonna start bitching and complaining about, why can't I get a taxi? Why are the shelves empty? And the like. So either way, they're gonna be bitching and complaining. And if these people really wanted to fix the problem, then they leave the basement. They put down the Doritos and leave the basement and go find a woman to have children with. But they don't want to do that, of course. They just want to bitch and complain on Twitter. Or X, whatever. But the bottom line, the reality of the situation is, if you don't have children, or if you don't want to have children, because you'd rather sit in your basement and eat Doritos and play video games, or perhaps you'd rather focus on your career, or live for the gram, or I have to travel, or YOLO, living my best life. If you'd rather live for the gram and travel and not have children, then don't complain. Don't complain when there are no migrants. Because when you do complain and there are no migrants, you're going to complain anyways about how your life isn't convenient and cushy anymore. Which way, Western man?